I'm just telling you, if you really want to take this up, you have concerns about who is covered under this legislation, about it being too broad, you have to take that up with the legislature. We don't have the authority.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones-Austin. So just want to share that your advocacy with your legislator is going to be important. And so I want to thank you, Ms. Robinson, for your testimony, and we're going to continue on. As we said, we won't continue to provide commentary after the public comment, but we wanted to just provide that clarification. And next time, you can go to the website if you want to see the full bill, and that you can go to newyork.gov/reparations.
All right. So thank you, Dr. Hawkins. We are definitely here with the bill. We was going through the bill and we found exactly what the sister has a problem with. So on page 6 of that bill, if you look at it here, it says, examine how New York State engaged in the interstate transfer of enslaved Africans and carried out federal policies in the furtherance of slavery. Number 4, examine the de jure and de facto discrimination against freed enslaved Africans, their descendants. Okay, well, so freed enslaved Africans to freedmen, their descendants would be us today. And what she's having an issue with right here, which says, and people of African descent. Why did you add that? Freed enslaved Africans, their descendants, is all you needed there. So according to this what was read here, you're trying to crowbar African immigrants into this. According, if you say, look at the bill and what the bill say, and your beef is with them, it says generally at both the state and federal levels of government during the period between the end of the Civil War and the present. See, that's a problem. Because not saying the end of the Civil War is the problem, but to the present. So that means, based off the text, and you know anything with law, it's the letter of a law. You're saying basically African immigrants in New York can crowbar, the Democrats have literally on paper crowbarred African immigrants into this because it's a people of African descent. That is messed up. There was no reason for them to put in there and people, because you're separating. You're saying basically the freedmen right here, their descendants would be Black Americans in New York today, and that should be it. But you say and people, you're adding people. That's the finesse the Democrats are trying to pull with y'all reparations in New York, and y'all have every right to talk about this. Okay? And let's continue. Examine the lingering negative effects of the institution of slavery and discrimination on living people of African descent on the society in the state of New York. You see how now they're switching the language up? Examine the current condition of people living people of African descent in the state of New York to the extent practicable, including but not limited to economic, political, educational, and societal conditions. Recommend appropriate ways to educate the public of the commission's findings. See, they switched from talking about enslaved Africans to their descendants to African descent all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? That is the problem. And they're trying to finesse Black people, and all before this, all into the history and all of that. They talk about how they formed the commission and all this stuff like this, right? And you got people on the commission. And I actually like her show. I actually do. She does pretty good on her show. You have Laree Daniel Favors. She's on the commission. Well, here's the issue with Laree Daniel Favors being on the commission. Laree Daniel Favors is Jamaican. I like her show. She's pretty good, but she's Jamaican. Why would a Black American be on any commissions for Jamaicans? See, that's the stuff they pull. They put people who aren't of the lineage on the commissions. And they know what they're doing when they're doing this. They know exactly what they're doing.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? You already know what it is. You have just entered the war zone. Now, New York City, home of the Statue of Liberty, home that is recognized all over the world. This home of New York City has now created a reparations council that is to look into the effect of the black freedmen here in America and their part in transition from slavery to living civilian life. The thing is, we have a problem with the reparations bill that has been put forth to the public. There's a problem because the language in the bill seems to backdoor foundational black Americans. It seems to backdoor the freedmen of this country. The owners of this country, the rightful owners of this country here in America, the black freedmen. We will not stand for this. This is why I'm so glad my beautiful queen sister got up there and spoke so eloquently to this New York Reparations Commission. New York Reparations Commission is telling us, the people, that we now have to speak to the New York legislature in order to address our concerns. When these are the people who slipped this manipulative language into the bill. I am very, very sick and tired of Jamaicans being on our reparation councils. I'm tired of Jamaicans being in the Democratic Commission for blacks here in America. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of these Jamaicans being on our black caucuses all over America. Why aren't they not on the Jamaican caucus and solely on the Jamaican caucus? Why are these West Indian people jumping onto our black caucuses, man? We're tired of this. And then they get onto our wave, figure out some of our tactics, and then use it to gain funding and assets for their communities, creating a gaping hole in our community because they're sending their money back home. They're committing all type of fraud. Look at what the Somalians are doing. Look at what the Somalians are doing. You can't tell me the Jamaicans are not doing that neither, allegedly. You can't tell me that. These people are doing that. It's just that the Somalis got caught first. This is the Somali fraud game that has been played and ran on America. They're saying is the largest scam that has been pulled off in America from a foreign entity to date. All right, this is what we are dealing with. I know my New Yorkers, my New York black freedmen are not going to allow that. We will encircle that damn commission and that damn state legislature if have to, if needs be. And we will come up in there with the proper paperwork to get the job done. Because we don't play around as freedmen at all. At all. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments section below about this unbelievable, heinous, manipulative, tactical strategies these Democrats are attempting to slip on us again, as if they have done in California with Gavin Newsom. We are not with that. I love you all except for the ones you know I don't. Peace.